the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, where, in my view, he was just simply being honest. He was asked questions about, what if you need a plan B or a plan C? Meaning, if the Free Syrian Army isn't up to the fight, if the Iraqi army isn't up to the fight, and your goal is to destroy ISIS, will American troops eventually perhaps have to be used? General Dempsey said if it came to that, he'd make that recommendation to the president. And then the White House scrambled. The president himself in Tampa, Florida yesterday, standing in front of troops, said, no, I will not commit you to a ground war in Iraq. And here's Secretary of State John Kerry back before his old friends in Congress.
The president will not put American ground troops into Iraq. And the president made it clear again today in a statement that he made at CENTCOM that America can make a decisive, I'm quoting the president, we can make a decisive difference, but I want to be clear, the troops that have been deployed to Iraq do not and will not have a combat mission.
They're arguing with themselves, except they shouldn't be. No. I mean, is there anything wrong with what General Dempsey said? He was essentially saying, if the president's goal is to destroy ISIS, and if the first plan doesn't work, then what? Well,
militarily, there's nothing at all wrong with what General Dempsey said, but, politically, it's kind of a bomb to drop right before the elections, because it's true. I don't think President Obama wants to send combat troops back to Iraq or anywhere near Syria, but, what if he has to?
And it undercuts the original premise of Obama's candidacy, which was to bring the troops home, and he is so against anything that even has a whiff of that they're so cautious about saying anything.
But he sent already like 1,000 advisors to Iraq.
Exactly, but that's where the rub is. Right. Advisors, they are not on a combat mission until they are.
Yeah, or the rub also is, what's the message to ISIS, in the sense that if you're ISIS and you're convinced the United States will never send ground troops, then all you have to do is deal with the Free Syrian Army. All you have to do is, spook the Iraqis or keep doing things that keep the Iraqi government.
Which is why Republicans don't want to say they want troops on the ground, but like Marco Rubio, who we just saw, are not ruling it out because just strategically, they see that as boneheaded.
And if you listen to what Obama said, what he's saying is, I will not commit these people who I'm sending right now to combat.
Well, I don't think he's even quite that clear. He's trying to draw this line, but if nothing else, he could be leaving it for the next president, because this is going to go on for some time. But I will note that Joe Biden in Iowa last night, the vice president, echoing General Dempsey, he said it was a big if. If he in fact concluded that was needed, he would request it from the president. His conclusion is it is not needed now. We'll determine that based on how the effort goes. So we'll watch this one play out. The vice president, often accused of not being on message, I think again I think he's telling the truth. I think he's
and also not running for president right now.
May not be the best political thing to say, but they're telling the truth.